Hello, and welcome back to Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. I'm your host, Jaramus. During the spring of 1149, the Calradic Empire makes peace with all the rebel factions, with the exception of the Aserai and the landless Battanians, who at the time are besieging Talivel Castle. What prompted this series of truces with the other rebel factions is an event known as the Western Uprising, in which 6 towns of Vlandian and Battanian culture rise up against the Calradic Empire. The uprising began in the spring of 1149 with the rebellion of Pen Cannoc. By the summer of that year, the towns of Dunglanys, Pravend, Gaeland, Jaculan, and Charis all rebel against the Empire. This event is a great blow to the Empire's strength. In any event, I've some more documents to look over, so I shall see you all a bit later. See you then. By the winter of 1149, the Empire's war with the Aserai is still ongoing. The rebels of Pen Cannoc have joined the Battanians. The rebels of Jaculan have joined the Sturgians, and the rebels of Dunglanys have joined the Northern Empire. However, they are currently under siege by one of the rebel factions. Before the Battanians make peace with the Empire, they successfully capture Talivel Castle and Veriskand Castle. Additionally, Sargot is captured by the Vlandians. When the Vlandians took Sargot, the town rebelled against the Empire and aided in the enemy's siege. However, just after the Vlandians left, Sargot rebels against the Vlandians. However, the Vlandians quickly recapture the town. Currently, the Emperor is looking for a new marriage for his niece. His cousin, Chara. He seeks out Arconis Ilina. There's something I'd like to discuss. I would like to propose an alliance between our families through marriage. I give you the hand of my cousin Chara. Tania. I hope he is a good match. I'll give you this amount of gold, and I hope Tania and my cousin are quite happy together. And so it's done. My thanks, Arcus Ilina. And so the Emperor's cousin is married off at this time. In any event, I've more documents to look over, so I shall see you all a bit later. See you then. Ah, there you are, my friend. By the summer of 1150, the Empire enters into another full-scale war with the rebel factions. The Sturgians manage to capture Balgard. Dunglanys is briefly recaptured by the Empire, but then, not long after, rebels against them. Pravend, Gaeland, and Charas both join the Vlandians. Additionally, the Vlandians are able to capture Abcomer Castle, Hongard Castle, and Thraktore Castle. I cannot remember. Did the Khuzait just capture Akkalat or not? Oh, my mind is going. Oh, it matters not. In any event, as you can see, the rebel factions have gained more territory. Additionally, around this time, a member of the Vesuvian clan comes of age. The individual in question is Catila. Emperor Claudius's daughter. In any event, I've some more documents to look over, so I shall see you all a bit later. See you then. Ah, there you are, my friend. Well, I've been looking through the archives some more, and apparently, by the summer of 1151, for the first time in some time, the Empire has made peace with every single barbarian nation. Though during this time, many events have occurred. The Sturgians were successful in capturing Cranirog Castle. The Empire manages to recapture Balgard, but the town rebels not long afterwards. The Vlandians are successful in capturing Neviansk Castle and Lanok Hen Castle. The Aserai make no territorial gains. However, the Khuzait capture Odok, Urzener Castle, Odrissa Castle, and Uruksala Castle. The Empire is steadily losing ground. Additionally, around this time, the Vesuvian clan gains a few new members. In Germanis, the later son of Emperor Claudius and Lysica, and Velanor, the later son of the Emperor's cousin Oricos. Wait. Yes, he is the Emperor's cousin. I had to make sure. In addition to that, Encurion, one of the Emperor's sons, comes of age. The Emperor hopes to train his son for warfare, like his brother and sister. Additionally, I've been looking over through military documents, and the Empire, a few years earlier, boasted a strength of 28,000 soldiers. By the summer of 1151, the Empire had only 21,000 soldiers in its army. The Aserai had almost 7,000. I mean, the Khuzait, almost 7,000. The Battanians, over 5,000. The Aserai had over 6,000. The Sturgians had roughly a little over 3,000, though they had only recently ended their war. And the Vlandians had over 6,000. In terms of strength, all the barbarian nations combined posed a great threat to the Calradic Empire. Close to half the empire was now gone, if not more than half. Truly the Vesuvian clan was in a hard position at this point. And unfortunately for them, and the empire as a whole, it would get only harder from there. In any event, I've more documents to look over, so I shall see you all a bit later. See you then. Ah, there you are, my friend. I've been going through the archives yet again, and by the autumn of 1152, the Empire was fighting a full-scale civil war. Although they had made peace with the Khuzait in the east, they were still at war with every other nation. The towns of Marunath, Sionon, Legeta, and Tyol had all rebelled against the Calradic Empire. Marunath had joined the Northern Empire. The other towns have yet to determine where their allegiances lie. The Khuzait did manage to capture Aserai castle during the conflict, but otherwise made no other territorial gains. The Aserai managed to capture Garantor castle. They had laid siege to it many times, but it finally fell. The Battanians managed to take Dunglanys, and during the Empire's peace with Vlandia, they took Sargot as well. The Vlandians, however, managed to capture Ormondfard Castle, Callias Castle, and Pendraic Castle. The Empire have lost much of their territory within Battanian and Vlandian territory. The Sturgians, meanwhile, managed to capture Mekalovia Castle, just a stone's throw away from Epicratea. At this time, a Sturgian force is laying siege to Uthalaim, and another army is laid siege to Epicratea. Truly, at this point, the Empire is fighting a losing war. In any event, I've yet more documents to look over, but first, I should also mention events within the Vesuvian clan. Oh no. A new member is born into the clan during this conflict. Mistessa, the daughter of Arenikos and Zerosica. Arenikos is the son of Nemos, who is the son of Empress Alia. In any event, I shall continue to pore over the documents and come back to you a bit later. See you then. Oh wait, no. Forgive me. There is one other matter within the Vesuvian clan I must mention. In addition, Tynops, another son of Emperor Claudius, has come of age by this point as well. Now, I shall leave you. I hope you found all of this fascinating, if not a little stale. Wars, births, deaths. But it is necessary. I am certain once my truces is done, I will cut the fat a bit. Make it not so long and ponderous. In any event, I shall come back to you all a bit later. See you then. Ah, there you are, my friend. By the autumn of 1143, the Calradic Empire has fought a full-scale war with the Barbarian nations. The Khuzait make no territorial gains. Tyol has joined the Vlandians, surprisingly. Sianon, in a surprising twist, has joined the Khuzait, so I suppose they have made some gains. Legeta has fallen to the Battanians, or rather has joined them. The Aserai did for a brief time in the war control Ortesia. However, Imperial forces were able to recapture it. Usank, Varon, and Flintolg Castle all fall, and Aster Castle all fall to the Battanians. The Vlandians are successful in capturing Remtoil Castle and Gersagos Castle. The Sturgians managed to capture Uthelame Castle and Epicratea. The Empire has lost yet more territory from another war. Additionally, at this time, Lysica, Penestia, and Catila have all been born into the Vesuvian clan. Catila is the daughter of Arenikos and Zerosica. Penestia is the daughter of Oricos and Viria, and Lysica, also Oricos and Viria's daughter. So the Emperor has a few new second cousins. Additionally, the Emperor's daughter, Tyana, has come of age. As you can see, the wars have taken a toll on Emperor Claudius. His hair has at this point turned to grey. Additionally, Ukasios, another of Emperor Claudius's children, has come of age during this time. By this point, Emperor Claudius has reached the age of 54. What will come next for the Calradic Empire is quite certain. They will lose yet more territory and gradually decline until they are no more. In any event, I've yet more documents to look over, so I shall see you all a bit later. See you then. Ah, there you are, my friend. By the summer of 1154, the Empire has entered into another full-scale civil war. Although by this point the Empire has made peace with the Khuzait, the Khuzait were able to capture some territory. The Empire managed to capture Tyol from the Vlandians who held it, but the Khuzait were quick to take the town as well. Additionally, the Khuzait are successful in capturing Melion Castle and Onira. The Aserai have made no territorial gains. However, the Battanians successfully capture Jalmaris Castle. Vlandia, however, has succeeded in capturing Ortesia, Hertogia Castle, and Drapand Castle. Thus, at this point, all of the Empire's fiefs within traditional Battanian and Vlandian territory have all fallen to the Barbarians. And the Barbarians of the West and East have both succeeded in capturing some territory within traditional Empire territory. Additionally, peace has been made with the Battanians, but the Sturgians, Vlandians, and Aserai still continue to fight. A Sturgian army was seen raiding villages near Saniopa, so the Emperor decides to participate in this battle. However, before we do that, I must make one note of something. The Emperor's daughter, Ariada, who joined the Elakis clan, has died in childbirth. During the year 1153. The Emperor is most saddened to hear of his daughter's death. Additionally, a new member is born within the Vesuvian clan, Geminon, the most recent son of Themestios and Lysica. Now that that's out of the way, let's participate in a brief battle. It's rather one-sided, as you can see. The Emperor has not been participating in many battles himself. He has left the wars with the Barbarians largely to his generals, much to his... Though the Emperor has become quite disappointed in his generals by this point, and feels that soon he should have to take a firm hand himself in the wars that are occurring. Too much land has been lost. By this point, I believe the Empire controls a little less than half of Calradia at this point.
Soldiers! After me!
During this battle, because of overwhelming numbers, the Emperor feels he does not have to be particularly cautious.
Give 'em hell! Move! Charge!
And the battle is won. Osric and Helena have both died in the battlefield.
Remember this!
Though many members of the Emperor's clan have gained much needed battle experience. You're my prisoner, you're my prisoner. So many prisoners. Why not? And the battle's won. In any event, I shall leave you here and come back to you a bit later. See you then. After a very long war, which began during the year 1154, the Calradic Empire makes peace with all of the Barbarian nations by the winter of 1155. The Empire, at this point in history, controls perhaps 1/3 of Calradia. The barbarian nations have done well at taking the empire apart piece by piece. The Khuzait managed to capture Vlandia Castle in the north. Otherwise, they've made Semira Castle in the east. Otherwise, they have made no territorial gains, other than those two fiefs. The Aserai in the south were successful in capturing the town of Rote. The Battanians make no territorial gains. However, the Vlandians are successful in capturing the town of Amitatas, almost in the heart of the empire. The Sturgians managed to capture the towns of Sibir and Varnovopol. Emperor Claudius cannot quite believe himself. He has left most of the fighting to his generals, while he himself deals with affairs of state and lounges about, supposedly according to his sister, participating in tournaments and taking very little action to prevent the empire's decline. Additionally, at this time, new members are born into the Vesuvian clan, and others have died. The emperor's uncle, Sinor, dies of old age at the age of 59 during the conflict. Additionally, Lady Ximena, the spouse of the emperor's cousin Nemos, dies at the age of 56. She is reputed to be one of the greatest warriors within the Vesuvian clan, though she dies of natural causes rather than in battle, despite leading many a party herself. One of her last incursions into enemy territory was against the Khuzait in the autumn of 1155. She was reputed to be brave, yet headstrong. Additionally, the girl Mitara was born to the emperor's cousin Arenikos during the conflict. Laria was born to the emperor's cousin Orikos, and Jakorios was born to Arenikos. Additionally, a few members of the clan have come of age. Those members being Temion, one of the younger sons of Emperor Claudius, Melkia, the Emperor's second cousin and daughter of his cousin Nemos, and Daenerys, the daughter of Alina and his uncle Senor. To celebrate the end of the war, the Emperor decides to join the tournament in Epicratea, despite his advanced age.
Die, you bastard! We won!
And in the end, the Emperor wins the tournament. Yet he loses the war. Every empire falls eventually. The Calradic Empire is no different. Although it still hangs on, its decline is inevitable. I've also been looking through the archives during this time, and I've found certain interesting things of note within Imperial records, particularly upon the composition of the Empire's army and the Barbarian nation's armies. By the winter of 1155, the Empire could boast only an army of 14,000 soldiers. The Khuzait had an army 10,000 strong. The Battanians 5,000. The Aserai almost 10,000. The Sturgians had the most recent to come to peace, boasted a strength of 5,000 at this point. The Vlandians had almost 9,000 soldiers. Against all this, the Empire was at a severe disadvantage, although several clans still clung to the Empire. Some were less than loyal. In any event, I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. See you then.